welcome back to Waverly Reads. Please excuse the setup at the minute. I'm makeupless because I did plan to film today, but then I decided not to plan to film today, and here we are. Please excuse. I know the lighting's a bit off over here. If I shut this though, it gets too dark. Actually, that's not too bad. I may leave it like that. The angle is a bit iffy. It's actually lower than me, so I feel like I should be down here, so I'm like face level, but it's fine, we're going with it. I was struggling to pick out my book for today, which is actually Saturday, it's not Thursday, but I always film on the weekends. I have an immediate TBR for the year. 4 out of 6 of the books that are left on my TBR that I haven't read before, I can't decide between, so I'm going to be doing the try a chapter challenge thing, just so I can see which one draws me in and which one I enjoy the most. I'm going to be trying a chapter of Hunted, I'm going to be trying a chapter of The Air, I'm going to be trying a chapter of Ready Player One, and I'm going to be trying a chapter of Eliza and Her Monsters. So if these are the 4 out of 6 books I own that are on my immediate TBR for the year, and these are the 4 I'm going to be trying a chapter of today. I don't know if there's going to be any order I do these in. We're going to do it. First, what are they about? What I really know about Hunted is that it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and that's pretty much it. I live for Beauty and the Beast and the fact that it's a retelling. I've liked both of the Beauty and the Beast retellings that I have read before. I'll read the synopsis to you. Beauty knows the Beast's forest is in her bones and in her blood. She knows that the forest holds secrets and that her father is the only hunter who's ever come close to discovering them. Yeva's grown up far from her father's old lodge, used to be part of the city's highest caste of aristocrats. Still, she's never forgotten the feel of a bow in her hands, and she spent a lifetime longing for the freedom of the hunt. So when her father loses his fortune and moves Yeva and her sisters back to the outskirts of town, Yeva is secretly relieved. Out in the wilderness, there's no pressure to make idle chatter with vapid baronesses or to submit to marrying a wealthy gentleman, but Yeva's father's misfortune may have cost him his mind, and when he goes missing in the woods, Yeva sets her sights on one prey, the creature he's been obsessively tracking just before his disappearance. Deaf to her sister's protests, Yeva hunts this strange beast back into his own territory, a cursed valley, a ruined castle, and a world of creatures that Yeva's heard about only in fairy tales. A world that can bring her ruin or salvation. Who will survive, the Beauty or the Beast? I feel like this is kind of a really big twisted Beauty and the Beast telling, how the Beauty is actually against the Beast and actually goes looking for the Beast. Who will survive? Will they fall in love? Who knows? We shall see. I'm gonna be trying a chapter of this one. I honestly barely know anything about Eliza and Her Monsters. All I know is that everyone raged about it last year when it came out around booktubeathon time. So I've been wanting to pick this up for a while and I really know nothing about it. So let's read this one too. In the real world, Eliza Merk is shy, weird and friendless. Online, she's Lady Constellation, the anonymous creator of a wildly popular webcomic, Monstrous Sea. Eliza can't imagine enjoying the real world as much as she loves the online one. Has no desire to try. Then Wallace Warland, Monstrous Sea's biggest fanfiction writer, transfers to her school. Wallace thinks Eliza is just another fan, and as he draws her out of her shell, she begins to wonder if life offline might be worthwhile. But then Eliza's secret is accidentally shared with the world. Everything she's built, her story, her relationship with Wallace, and even her sanity begins to fall apart. Kind of reminds me a bit about Girl Online, how like she has this online persona and the person that she's starting to build a relationship with finds out about this persona and gets a little bit put off. Next is The Air, which I actually do know what it's about because I can't really tell you what this one's about. It's a 4th in a series, but it is the 4th book to the Selection series, which is about a girl named America who has entered into the Selection, where she has to she has to train to win the prince's heart, and there is a love triangle which I'm not too happy about, but there is one. And it's just kind of like a coming of age story in this new society where everyone is in a caste and she is in quite a low caste, but then she is chosen to go into the Selection and falls in love with a prince. And then Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I've heard a few things about this, but I don't want to get it wrong. I know the movie's just come out, so I'm just going to read the back. No, I won't, because there's nothing on the back. The breakout sensation of the year. Imagine a world at stake, an epic struggle between good and evil, the greatest quest in history, the fate of humanity resting in your hands. Are you ready? I think I found the blurb, it's okay. It's the year 2044 and the real world has become an ugly place. We're out of oil. We've wrecked the climate, famine, poverty and disease are widespread. Like most of humanity, Wade Watts escapes this depressing reality by spending his waking hours jacked into the oasis, sprawling virtual utopia where you can be anything you want to be, where you can live and play and fall in love on any of 10,000 planets. And like most of humanity, Wade is obsessed by the ultimate lottery ticket that lies concealed within this alternate reality. It just referenced my book. It didn't intentionally, but it did. Oasis founder James Halliday, who dies with no heir, has promised that control of the Oasis and his massive fortune will go to the person who can solve the riddles he has left scattered throughout his creation. For years, millions have struggled fruitlessly to attain this prize, knowing only that the riddles are based on the Hallidays' obsessions with 80s pop culture, and then Wade stumbles onto the key to the first puzzle. Suddenly, he finds himself pitted against thousands of competitors in a desperate race to claim the ultimate prize, a race that soon takes on terrifying real-world dimensions, and that will leave both Wade and his world profoundly changed. Cool! Now I'm going to go read a chapter of each of these books, and then I'll let you know my decision. Well, that was an interesting experience, to say the least. I have thoughts and I have feelings. I think I also have my answer, which is good. Let's go through my thoughts, let's go through my feelings, and then I'll tell you. The first chapter I read was of Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, or Zapier, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, and that chapter was only 7 pages long. And I enjoyed it. It intrigued me, it made me wonder how the story is going to go, and it was a big difference from Simon vs. Homo Sapiens, The Gender and the Host, which are the 2 books that I've read so far this month. And I enjoyed it. It was cool, and it didn't take me too long to read. But then again, it was only 7 pages. The next book I tried a chapter of was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Technically, I only read the prologue of this book, which was only 9 pages long, but it took me quite a while to read, and I already know that this book is going to be difficult for me to understand because I don't know too much about 80s pop culture, and that is centered around this a lot. But it was interesting and I am intrigued. Next chapter I read was of The Heir by Kiera Cass, and I am thoroughly confused. This chapter was only 9 pages long. It took me about 5 minutes to read, if even that, and it was a good chapter. However, I'm confused. I don't want to spoil the first 3 books, but this book has a 20-year gap. This one and the last one, which was the one. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's been 20 years and I'm confused. I expected to continue on with America, but we have this new character and I'm really confused, but intrigued. I am intrigued. I'm just a bit nervous now because people say they go downhill from here and I never knew how that could be possible. Now I'm starting to see the possibility of that and I'm nervous. And the last book I tried a chapter of was Hunted by Megan Spooner, and this chapter was 20 pages long, the longest chapter, and it also felt like it took the longest to do, but that also made sense because it was the longest chapter. I'm intrigued a little bit, obviously this book was just opening the story and stuff like that, but I'm not as intrigued as I am with some of the other books, so I feel like this definitely won't be the book that I will be reading at this point in time, but I'm intrigued and we'll probably get to it soon. Out of all 4 books, my decision has come to, roll please, Eliza and Her Monsters! Yay! I feel silly. I'm going to be reading Eliza and Her Monsters because I got through that chapter really quickly and I feel like I will be able to read it quite quickly. I'm reading Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. So that was my try a chapter challenge tag thing that goes around on BookTube. I really wanted to pick out another book and I couldn't decide, so I might as well have done this, and also got a video out for you guys as well. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I post a new Reading Weekly vlog every Monday and a new BookTube video every Thursday. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Bye!